Hey, yo. So, what do you want to talk about? First of all, I know it was yesterday, but happy Juneteenth. Never mind the fact that I'm Canadian and Juneteenth is a U.S. exclusive holiday. Still, though, happy Juneteenth. And in honor and celebration of Juneteenth, Kendrick Lamar, or K-Dot, or Kung Fu Kenny, Mr. Morale, put on a show at the Kia Forum in Inglewood, California, the old Lakers Stadium. For those who were unfortunate enough to not get a ticket or not live over 2,000 miles away, Pop Out was live streamed on Amazon Prime and on Twitch TV. And if you were not at work or at a pool party or a barbecue, you were absolutely tuned into this show. Naturally, I was, and I loved every minute of it. The West Coast was in full effect last night. If you know anything about me, you know that I'm a huge West Coast hip-hop shill. To quickly recap, the show started out with a lineup of homegrown West Coast talent that performed their joints to a crowd of people who already knew their music or was hearing it for the first time and really digging it. Then the legendary Tommy the Clown and his dance troupe popped out and performed. That shit was live as hell. Then you had performances from the established acts like DJ Mustard, Steve Lacy, Ty Dolla $ign, Tyler the Creator, Roddy Ricch, YG. You know, the crazy thing about this is that Drake shouted YG out on Family Matters only for YG to pop out at a Kendrick Lamar event and perform Who Do You Love, a song that featured Drake. The beef is about a month old. I'm sure you guys are up on the lore. And then the king arrived and proved once and for all that he is absolutely a true Gemini menace, opening his setup with Euphoria, performing a fraction of his biggest hits, bringing out Absol, J-Rock, and Schoolboy Q, performing his verse from Like That, which the minute that beat dropped, I yeeted my can of Dr. Pepper across the room.
Motherfucker, big three, nigga, it should beat me, nigga, what? I'm really like that.
Bringing out Dr. Dre, and then.
Psst, I see dead people. Mustard on a beat, how deep out any rap nigga, he a freak though.
Performing Not Like Us, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times. Booker T, do me the honors.
5 times, 5 times, 5 times, 5 times, 5 times.
And by the 4th and 5th time, the stage was full of people dancing, throwing gang signs, all to an anti-Drake anthem. Westbrook and DeRozan was up there. DeRozan, who played for the Toronto Raptors. I guess he took that skit that he did with Drake personally.
What's your name?
DeMar.
DeMar.
Okay.
DeMar, I say it, the less I like it.
But the moment that put all of this in perspective for me was this moment right here.
This is unity at its finest. Inglewood, California, y'all did this. Los Angeles, y'all did this. This shit make me proud than a motherfucker, man. Y'all just don't know this shit get me emotional, dog.
Now, I'm not from California, but it is not lost on me how monumental this moment was for the world to see. In this photo, you have many different figures, many of them from different neighborhoods in California, many of them affiliated to different California street gangs, whether it's Bloods, Crips, or Hoovers, sharing the same stage in a display of unity. But think about what led up to this moment though. Off top of the show, you had many of the opening acts performing and some of them claiming their sets without an issue. You had Tommy the Clown up there, a man who dedicated his entire craft to offering the LA youth an alternative to joining gangs and selling drugs in the community. And then you have Kendrick Lamar, an artist who was passed the torch to carry on the legacy of West Coast hip hop, taking the opportunity to show the world on a day that celebrates Black liberation that in spite of the that white supremacy in America has put in front of Black Americans, unity amongst us is important. Unity amongst the gangs especially. Understand that this is not the first time that gangs in California have united like this. For instance, in 1992, the Bloods and Crips called a truce amidst the rubble of the Rodney King riots. Then in 2019, in the wake of Nipsey Hussle's passing, the 8-Tray Gangster Crips and the Rollin' 60s Crips called for a truce after decades of bloodshed. Kendrick has done the best that he can to use his platform to speak to the gangs in California, to uplift them and to break the cyclical nature of gang culture, much like his predecessor Tupac. So yeah, this moment here is a watershed moment, and to me it's symbolic of Kendrick's efforts throughout his entire career being a moderate success. I can't stop thinking about how a while back Long Beach Griffey made a video about how gang culture was stupid and criticizing gang culture, and while the video was met with mixed reactions, it's easy to understand both sides of the argument. But in that discussion, in that debate, I think that there's a conversation worth having, that whether it's in LA, whether it's in Atlanta, whether it's in New York, whether it's in Chicago, whether it's in Detroit, whether it's in Toronto, whether it's in the UK, wherever it is in the world, gangs can be, or at least have the potential to be productive if that same power and energy is channeled into the community, into building and protecting the community, much like the predecessors of the Bloods and the Crips, the Black Panthers, gangs. Now, I know that unity amongst gangs is not as easy as getting a bunch of affiliated rappers to perform, hang out backstage together, and then take a picture together. But this is a symbolic gesture of a damn good way to start. Oh, and the cherry on top to all of this, no reported incidents or altercations from before, during, or after this event. Happy Juneteenth.